Learning to surrender to what is. Learning to let go of control. Learning to surrender and be in the flow of our wants, our needs, our desires. When we grip so tightly to the outcome of a situation, we create so much resistance and inner turmoil. We create an environment that blocks our progress, our creativity, our intuition. And letting go is one of the hardest things to do. Learning to let go of something that you want, or someone that you want, or just having faith and trust and an inner knowing that putting in the work and effort can only do so much. As much as we might want something, we have to release control. It's especially difficult to let go of control, I feel, when you've had to experience trauma and you've been raised in an environment that has controlled who you are at your core, your actions, your choices, your thoughts. We then begin to become obsessed with micromanaging every aspect of our life, micromanaging outcomes of situations, micromanaging and controlling other people and the way we want them to behave. But essentially, we have no control. We have no ownership over the things that we want and that we desire. We can sit and try to manifest as much as we want, but we still don't have control over the outcome, over the direction, over the end result, if there is ever an end result. The experience is in the journey. The experience is in the interactions. The experience is in the process. We have to learn to surrender and let go and in order to find that inner peace within ourselves, we have to work towards being in that state, in a flow state. We can experience situations in our lives that throw us out of alignment with who we are working on becoming. And when situations throw us out of alignment, it can send us into a state of panic, a state of anxiety, a state of intense frustration in having lost control or the direction in which we are going. Now we are feeling unstable. We are trying to micromanage every aspect of that situation to bring us back into alignment. And the more that we try to micromanage and control a situation, the more we are creating resistance within that situation, the more we are preventing that situation from working itself out. And I'm not saying sit back and do nothing, but there is only a certain amount of action that we can put into something. There is only so much action and energy that we can put into something before we have to let go and let that momentum continue on its own. You've already set the wheels in motion. We have to sometimes step back and allow that motion to build gradually, naturally. We have to step back and allow all of that action that we've been putting in to catch up in real time. Say, for example, you're working on a project and you're putting in hours upon hours into this project, and you have an expectation that by X amount of time, you are going to accomplish this, or you would have achieved a step or a goal, and it may not go that way. And we can begin to obsess and try to change our strategy or try to put in more work or more effort. And that's not always the answer. Sometimes we have to recognize that we have done everything that we possibly can, and that the laws of motion, the energies, the actions, they will all eventually come together and create the momentum that we're putting in all of that energy trying to chase. I don't know why I refer to that as laws in motion. I'm not a scientist. I have no idea. It's an Isaac Newton thing. I just looked it up. But it's not something I'm familiar with. So I'm trying to say that pushing for a result, pushing for an outcome, expending our energy, our time, building anxiety and stress and getting ourselves into a state of instability isn't going to produce the results that you want any faster than if you learn to surrender and trust that sometimes there are things in life that we just have to let them play out naturally. Once you've set the wheels in motion for something, it will naturally play out in the way that it is supposed to. That extra effort and that extra energy and that additional stress and all of that pressure isn't going to make it happen. And I think we need to get into a state of just being present. The state of just being still and accepting the situation as it is, right here, right now. Staying grounded. In those moments when we are feeling, pressure and stress, doing our best to separate ourselves from that situation and detaching from that situation. And just coming back to self, coming back to balancing yourself, grounding yourself. I know how hard it is to do that, especially when life is happening. Detaching from situations in our lives that are making us stressed, that are making us unhappy, that are causing us misery, that are causing us pain. It's difficult to detach from those situations. But the solutions and the answers can only come from detaching. They can only come from letting go and trusting that with the right intentions, the things that we want and the outcome that we desire will come to fruition in its own time and in its own way. We spend far too much of our lives stressing about things that we have no control over. We We just spend too much time stressing about things that aren't important in the grand scheme of life, of this universe. Yes, we all have problems. Yes, we all have stresses, but are they always really as big as we make them out to be? I just feel learning to surrender and detaching from situations allows us to put everything into perspective, and it allows us to look at things objectively. Removing our ego from the situation, removing our ego from our wants, our needs, our desire to control how things turn out. It would just create a lot less stress. There would be a lot less hurt, pain, and heartache if we just allow things to go. If we just allow things to play out. And if we just trust that things that are meant for us will always be for us. We have to experience things for our growth. We have to experience hardships and hurt and difficulties. And sometimes that's all it is. We have to experience it and move through it and take the lessons from it for the next phase. And if we can just look at things that way in life and just allow things to be, allow things to be and be present in that moment and enjoy the good things that we have and the people that we love, and just value the moments that we get to experience every day. Life will be so much simpler. I hope this episode resonated with somebody. I'm feeling kind of heavy in my energy today. I don't know why, and I'm trying to discern if it belongs to me or if it belongs to someone else. But I feel I wanted to get this message out, and I don't know if I've delivered it in the way that I was anticipating, but I hope that it was I hope it resonated with somebody, and I hope it makes sense to somebody. And learning to be in flow is a real challenge. I remind myself every day to stay in the present moment. Don't stress about things. Knowing that we've done enough and we've put in enough effort and work to trust the outcome of what we are desiring. And just know that everything we do is helping us on this journey of life. And just trusting that every situation that we find ourselves in is all for our soul's evolution. We have to have faith and we have to keep believing. And we just have to keep moving forward with that knowing and trust that things will always work out as they're supposed to. So thank you for being here as always. I hope you take care and I will see you again next week. Bye.